Good morning. It is, November the 11th, 2025. It's exactly 7 o'clock a.m. and this is East Texas Vlogger from Galveston, Texas. Uh, so I just recorded the sunrise and on my second cup of coffee. And I have to tell you what happened. So the housekeeping, they're really great in this hotel. I would just say it's the Moody Gardens Hotel and Convention Center. And yesterday morning, I left a $5 tip on the bed. A little note saying, you are awesome. Thank you for all you do. Okay. Well, a little bit of kindness goes a long way, right? And when I got back to my room after all the conference meetings were over yesterday evening, I had noticed housekeeping had provided me with 2 extra pecan pralines coffees, and I'm like, oh wow, that is so sweet, because I had one of the pecan praline coffee yesterday morning for breakfast, because it was chilly here, and it's chilly here this morning too. And well, then I didn't notice then, but later after I got back from our business dinner, I went into the bathroom to get ready for bed, and I noticed housekeeping had took a washcloth, laid it out on the counter, and put like my personals, like my deodorant and my body powder and my body spray, lined it up neatly on the back against the wall, and then front they had put my medication boxes neatly and orderly, and I'm like, oh my goodness, that's so sweet. So I'm gonna leave them another tip today with another handwritten note just saying thank you, you are awesome. And don't forget that. And tomorrow, I'm going to leave a little bit more, and as a surprise, and then of course I will be back to see what what the response will be. But I will have to say, this hotel, this is my 5th time staying here for conference, and unfortunately, in the near future, it's our last time, just because it's distance to the airport, and I am kind of bummed. I mean, the layout, it's like you have to go through 2 different time zones to get to the convention center, which is attached on this end. But you do get your steps in, you do get your walk-in, so really can't complain too much about that, because I need my steps. The rooms are nice, large, comfortable. However, I mean, last couple of conferences, I've noticed it has been showing some age, some scruff marks on the walls. Friend and I had dinner at Sunday night in the restaurant, in the cafe, in the park downstairs on the lobby level, and we noticed one of the chairs at our table had like stains on the back and everything, so it is showing its age. But one thing I noticed different this trip is my room has brand new carpet, and it looks really nice, so it already gave the room a boost. And they also and here's another thing I don't like. They replaced the bathtub with a shower door and a walk-in shower, and I get it for ADA purposes, but I dislike that because first of all, I was looking forward to a nice hot bath. The hotel I stayed at over on Bolivar Island on Saturday night, it had a bathtub, but it didn't have a stop, but I'm like, well, I could use a washcloth and kind of stuff in there and take a nice hot bath, because it had the back was like you could lean against it. And I'm like, no, I'm just going to wait till I get to the hotel in Galveston, because they have a really nice bathtub. When I get here, no bathtub. I'm like, oh my goodness, I was so bummed. And then when the shower door, I just don't like it. On one side, because it opens on both sides of the walk-in, so by the wall and by the toilet. And the toilet sits over here on the side where the shower head is, and then on the back side, of course, is the door on that wall. And on the back side, the sliding door, you open the glass door to the walk-in shower, and right in the center, you've got the door stop, which is an add-on because the door itself has a door stop, but that was when it would keep it from slamming against the tub. Well, now you don't want the door handle slamming against the glass and breaking it, so they had to put a door stop in the floor to stop the door before that handle struck the glass. Well, it's right there, right in the middle, and I forgot it was there and stubbed my toe. Yeah, apparently that's why we have toes, to remind us where stuff is. And then on the other side, you've got the toilet sticking out, so in order to get in, you almost have to brush up against the toilet. So I really wish they could have done better. I really did. I wish they could have brought the tubs back. And I wish there was a way, you see these things, they have ADA bathtubs to where it's a tub, but there's like a door that you can open up and it seals. But then again, I can see problems caused from that. But anyway, but I will say, and then of course, back up, going down the gift shop, they had the sticker with the logo of the hotel. And since I don't know when I'll be back, if ever, because the rooms are like over $400 a night here, low seat for me, if I'm just wanting a vacation here, regular price. So I got a sticker just as a memento, $4.99 for a doggone sticker. It's like 2 inches. I mean, a 50-cent dollar sticker. Like, oh my goodness. And then the water in here, $6 for one water. And of course, I get it. That's probably typical of hotels. So I guess I shouldn't pick on them. But, if you want, but my thing is, if you want to be competitive and bring business in, make it more affordable. If someone can afford the $400 a night, but maybe they can afford the high price ticket items in the gift shop, or these $6 bottle of waters you get for $2 at Walmart, then maybe knock a couple of bucks off. Bring it down $1 or $2. You might sell more. That's how actually, I think that's how Walmart really grew, because he didn't really put that much of a profit on his merchandise, but he mass produced or mass sold. So instead of having small quantities at a high price, he had massive quantities at a low price. So lower price, I would think the more you would sell. But I don't know. I don't understand the mechanics of all that. I guess apparently I don't. But just reasoning, you would think that. Anyway, so going back to the hotel. It's a 9-story hotel. It's got, technically it's got a north tower and south tower, but the north tower is like 2 sections, because when you get off the center elevator, you go to your right to go down one way, or you go straight to go down the other hallway. So to me, that's 2 different towers, but apparently it's 1 tower. And then it's 9 stories. You got the south tower, which is 8 stories, and I'm in the north tower, room 816. And I have behind me is looking toward the Gulf of whatever you want to call it. Really beautiful. And the rooms, like I say, they've got the granite countertops. The furniture, the wood, some of it in some places is showing its age, but I love the granite top. And if they do end up replacing these, I hope the new furniture has granite. But I mean, it needs some more cosmetic updating. But again, like I say, it is very clean, very nice, still very upscale. I think it was built in 2000, and I don't think it's been really renovated since then. Maybe occasional paint job here and there, but other than that, nothing. It's the original carpet, as far as I know, except for now that the guest rooms, I've noticed they've replaced the carpet, which is awesome. It used to be brown. It's pretty sad when you've come to a place long enough that you know what used to be there. Plus, I have pictures and stuff. But the staff, like I say, have been phenomenal. The check-in guest, she was very friendly. The waiter, he was very nice, very inviting, and so I give 5 stars. And I wish Google would break down their rating to where you could go like service, property, cost. That way, you could give each section its own star. So that way, you can give service 5 stars. So if I could, but I'm going to go in there and I will give it, I think I'm going to give it a 4-star, just because I'm disappointed in the bathtub being gone and stubbing my toe on the thing. However, I will make a comment specifically that service definitely deserves 5 stars in this hotel. I highly recommend, even those minor things, I still highly recommend Moody Gardens Hotel and Convention Center. I would say they define what true hospitality is. And, and maybe in a few years, who knows, maybe I might come back with someone we can split the cost of the hotel, or maybe I might just save up the money and splurge for a couple of nights. But, if you think about just 2 nights, that's over $800 plus taxes. You're probably looking at about $900, almost $1,000 per person for 2 nights. So I would definitely have to save up for that. But right now we get group rates, and that's what makes it easy. And I really, like I say, I think I mentioned this before, I really wanted to come a day early, but I waited till the last moment to make that decision. And when I called the hotel to see if I could extend my stay a day early, the Saturday night was already all booked up. So I ended up staying at another place. But it all worked out. It all worked out really good. And yesterday was fun, and then today it's going to be fun again. Look forward to today's learning, today's activities, getting to visit with people I haven't, that that only see at conferences that you meet over the years, and you kind of build a relationship with, and you look forward. It's your conference family or your organization family that you work with throughout the year. You reach out to each other here and there if you got questions or whatever, but you really only see each other once a year. But you still have that bond, that common bond of your profession. And and you do get to know each other on a personal level at these conferences, and you do build that friendship, and it's really nice, and it really has helped build my career, and I'm really appreciative of my employer for giving me this opportunity, and and I'm appreciative of my past employers for giving me the building blocks and the steps to get me to where I'm at now. And even though I'm not, I may not necessarily agree with previous employers or may necessarily have anything to do with them again, based on their current method of doing things and the way they operate business, I still am very appreciative of the opportunities that they provided me to be able to get me where I'm at now. So, I'm trying to be more positive, more outgoing, more appreciative, because this world is so full of hate. I went online, and a friend of mine had posted a comment about, and I'm not going to say what it is because I don't want to start any drama, because I know how people can't control their emotions anymore. But he posted something that was not kind of controversial, but it was a fact. He wasn't being rude. It was a fact. It was about the news media. And boy, he got attacked, and people were saying, well, it sounds like you're this. And they just started throwing these accusations at him that he absolutely did not say. And I'm like, man, these people, and that tells me these people watch the media and believe everything the media throws at them. And and I felt really bad for him. And this world is so full of that mess anymore. And the best thing I feel I need to do for myself is to distance myself from people like that. And I have started a new personal policy. I'll call it the PP. Not PP like you go to the bathroom, but no, my personal policy. Whenever I see a comment, someone's just being honest, they're not being hateful, they're not being rude, they're just stating a fact. It's a fact. You have to be blind not to see that they weren't stating a fact. Or stupid. And anybody that attacks that person in comments, I'm going and I'm blocking that person, because number one, I don't need to see that crap, because that tears me down. That makes me feel discouraged. That makes me just want to give up on social media. That just makes me want to just become a hermit, and that's not good either. And number two, I don't want friends like that. I don't want friends who automatically throw accusations for something they don't have clear understanding of, without getting facts, without asking questions, without getting more into what that person was stating. It's just, oh, well, it sounds like you're saying this, or, oh, well, I think you know what? Bye. I don't need those kind of people in my life. And, I had a couple of friends that actually, out of the blue, just blocked me. One of them was a really good friend. We had we'd always hang out and have a really great time. And it really hurt me when I found out he blocked me. But then I started seeing some posts, from his partner. And I'm like, you know what? Looking back, I knew he shared those same sentiments. And I think that was what I needed. I needed to realize that association is not good for me. That is negative association that doesn't align with truth, with facts. It aligns with what they want to hear, what they don't care what anyone else thinks. It's their way or the highway type thing. And I just can't do that anymore. And that's what social media has become. And life in general. And what's interesting is, if I take social media out of the equation and only put myself in the here and now, as far as where I live, and think about my job, the city I live in, my in-person family and friends, it's a totally different world. Totally different world. I have accepting people. You know, I have no issues. I am who I am, whether it's in public or private. I have no problems. Zero. You know, now I look at the media, and yeah, they play each other. They play sides, and I agree with that. But I don't that's not my deciding factor. I do my homework. I do my research, and you know, so I need that. I don't need that negativity in my life, and so that's why I want to start doing kind things for people. And it don't kindness is free. Honestly, kindness is free. You know, what does it hurt to leave a little note saying thank you for all you do? You're awesome. Bless you. Have a good day. God be with you. What's wrong with that? Kindness goes a long way. So yeah. Anyway, all right. That's my vlog for the day. I've taken a lot of video footage. I don't know how I'm gonna do this, because if I literally sit down and create, it's gonna be one video. It's gonna be massive video. So what I think I might do, I don't know what I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know how I'm gonna do this, but I'm gonna post. I'm gonna start posting videos of my trip. I may do small clips. I don't know. I do know I'm eventually going to do one long video, and what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to create 2 different files, and one file is going to be the really long video, and then as I'm going through the files and I'm creating smaller videos, I'm going to be attaching those to the longer video, because if I just sit and do the longer video, it's going to take a long time, because you know, I've got a life away from my computer, right? So like I said, as I'm doing the smaller videos, I will also be adding those to the other file for the longer video. And then as I slowly go through my files and update files to my YouTube, then once the longer video is finished, then I'll upload that, and that'll be my entire trip. Now I'm going to split it. I'm going to do it by days, and I'm also going to do the whole thing, and then I'm going to do, so there's going to be 3 sections to it. The whole thing, all 4 days, and then there's going to be another section, which is by all, let's see, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 5 days. And then there's going to be a third section where I just upload smaller clips here and there. I might just subject-related clips or whatnot. So, all right. Well, I hope everyone has a great day, a good work week, and until next time, this is East Tech Blogger.